What happens when two powerhouse bishops clash on sacred ground? And what if a beloved gospel artist is hiding a scandal so deep it could ruin everything? Just when the gospel world thought things couldn't get any messier, Bishop Liston Page explodes in front of Drew Sheard's congregation, and Deitrick Haddon drops receipts that send shock waves through the gospel music community. You're not going to believe the tea we're about to spill, because this one is straight out of the pulpit drama handbook. Now, before we get into the firestorm that broke out between Bishop Lon Page and the leadership at Drew Sheard's church, let me just say this. This isn't your average Sunday sermon gone wrong. We're talking about a confrontation so intense, so unexpected, that it left church members in absolute shock. And just when things couldn't get any more chaotic, Deitrick Haddon steps into the ring, exposing a scandal involving none other than Ty Tribbett. Yes, Ty Tribbett, the same award-winning gospel artist known for his electrifying praise and worship, has found himself caught up in a situation that's raising some serious questions. In today's story, we're unpacking the explosive moment Bishop Lon Page goes off while standing on sacred ground right inside Drew Sheard's church. Was it righteous anger or something much deeper brewing in the background? Then we'll dive into the bombshell that Deitrick Haddon just dropped on the gospel world, pointing fingers and calling out hypocrisy. You won't believe the receipts he pulled out and how fans, fellow ministers, and even gospel legends are reacting to it. By the end, you'll know exactly what sparked the fire, who said what, and how this scandal is shaking the very foundation of gospel music and church leadership as we know it. It was supposed to be just another Sunday service, a day of worship, praise, and unity. But instead, what unfolded inside the four walls of Drew Sheard's church left everyone stunned, confused, and even fearful of what they had just witnessed. According to multiple sources present that day, Bishop Lon Page didn't just deliver a message, he delivered it with fire. Eyewitnesses claimed the service had started off normally, with praise and worship flowing as expected. But once Bishop Lon Page took the pulpit, his tone shifted from uplifting to confrontational. While many assumed he was just preaching with authority, it quickly became apparent he was calling someone out, and he was doing it right there on holy ground. See, the problem ain't the devil outside, Bishop Lon allegedly shouted. It's the snakes sitting in these pulpits, smiling in robes, and stealing from God's people. Gasps filled the sanctuary. Cameras stopped rolling. Choir members froze mid-note. What started as a passionate message quickly spiraled into a full-on rebuke, seemingly aimed directly at Drew Sheard and some of the leaders sitting behind him. What many didn't know was that tension had already been brewing behind the scenes. Reports suggest Bishop Page had confronted leadership weeks earlier about politicking in the pulpit and was allegedly warned not to bring it up publicly. That warning fell on deaf ears. Then came the line that shook the house. I don't care if your last name is Sheard. If you're pimping the church, God's judgment is coming for you. The statement caused such a stir that ushers began escorting out visibly upset members. Church mothers cried. Elders looked torn between intervening and letting him finish. Was it bold truth or disrespect masked as righteous indignation? And if you think that was intense, the next chapter of this saga takes things even further. Just when folks thought things couldn't get hotter, Deitrick Haddon stepped in like a wrecking ball, sleeves rolled up, ready to deliver his own truth. The award-winning gospel singer, preacher, and reality TV star took to social media not just to vent, but to expose what he called deep hypocrisy in the gospel industry. One name rose above the rest, Ty Tribbett. In a now viral Instagram Live, with thousands watching, Deitrick declared, "Y'all better stop playing church. I'm tired of seeing folks preach one thing on Sunday and live a whole different lifestyle behind closed doors. Ty, you got some explaining to do, bro." Insiders claimed the gospel community had been whispering for months about certain artists living double lives. While Deitrick didn't spill every detail, his hints about manipulation, moral failures, and a cover-up culture protecting big names were crystal clear. "Some of y'all got scandalous skeletons locked up tight," he said. "But when I was going through mine, y'all were the first to judge me. Now it's your turn. Come clean, or I'll keep pulling the curtain back." Deitrick's own history, a messy divorce, remarriage, and child out of wedlock, had once made him a target. But that history now made his voice harder to dismiss. He wasn't just targeting Ty. He was calling out a system of silence, a boys' club protecting influential figures in exchange for tithes, record sales, and image maintenance. "You can't have revival when the pulpit is rotten," he said. The timing was suspicious, just days after Bishop Page's eruption. Could these be the first cracks in a wall of silence? Fans were split, some accusing Deitrick of going too far without proof, others praising his courage. Then, after days of silence, Ty Tribbett finally responded. Instead of a fiery rebuttal, Ty released a carefully produced Instagram video, soft lighting, piano music, somber tone, speaking vaguely about grace, forgiveness, and being human. "We all fall short," he said, "but I thank God for his mercy and for people who choose love over judgment. I'm not here to feed the drama. I'm here to elevate the kingdom." He never mentioned Deitrick's name, nor confirmed or denied the allegations. Many called it a non-denial denial, fueling even more suspicion. Online commentators picked apart the video, with one remarking, "It's giving PR coaching. It's giving, I won't admit it, but I won't fight it either." While loyal fans applauded his grace, others demanded transparency. Even church leaders outside gospel music chimed in, warning that polished statements without accountability were why younger generations were leaving the church. Meanwhile, whispers grew louder. Sources claimed this wasn't Ty's first behind-the-scenes controversy. Deitrick's accusations might just be the tip of the iceberg. One of Bishop Page's most controversial lines, "The Lord's about to clean house, and it starts with the platform," suddenly felt prophetic. And behind the scenes, church leadership was in full damage control. Within 24 hours of Deitrick's livestream, insiders say phone calls went out instructing prominent voices not to repost, comment, or engage. Drew Sheard reportedly held a closed-door meeting, stressing unity and privacy. But Bishop Page's stance was clear. Private conversations had been met with silence, and public rebuke was the only way left. The stakes were high. Ty Tribbett and other major gospel artists are more than worship leaders. Their brands tied to millions in partnerships, tours, and events. Scandal threatened not only reputations, but revenue. Congregations were divided. Sermons shifted toward unity, but distrust lingered. Online, podcasts and commentary shows asked hard questions. Is this the fall of the modern gospel empire? And why Bishop Page's rebuke was overdue? Then came the biggest twist yet. Rumors of a whistleblower from Ty Tribbett's own team preparing to release screenshots, emails, voice memos, and videos contradicting the gospel star's image. Allegedly, these included backstage conversations, cash payments, and inappropriate messages. Social media went into overdrive. Hashtags like #GospelReceipts and #TribbettExposed trended. Ty went silent again. Bishop Page doubled down in a sermon, saying, "Here comes the broom." Deitrick hinted at a part 2 if the industry kept playing games. Lesser-known worship leaders began speaking out about cover-ups and bullying, saying, "If this is the shaking we need for revival, let it shake." Fans echoed the same sentiment. No more polished lies. We want receipts, not rehearsed statements. Now, the gospel world stands in the aftermath of one of its most intense public reckonings. What began with Bishop Page's fiery rebuke has spiraled into a larger identity crisis in the modern church. A culture choosing performance over repentance, image over integrity, influence over accountability. Whether you agree with Bishop Page's method or not, he forced attention onto a system where bad behavior is protected as long as the brand stays clean. And the whispers aren't dying down. Screenshots are being prepared. The truth is knocking. God, as Bishop Page says, may just be clear. What happens when two powerhouse bishops clash on sacred ground? And what if a beloved gospel artist is hiding a scandal so deep it could ruin everything? Just when the gospel world thought things couldn't get any messier, Bishop Liston Page explodes in front of Drew Sheard's congregation, and Deitrick Haddon drops receipts that send shock waves through the gospel music community. You're not going to believe the tea we're about to spill because this one is straight out of the Pulpit Drama Handbook. Now, before we get into the firestorm that broke out between Bishop Lon Page and the leadership at Drew Sheard's church, let me just say this. This isn't your average Sunday sermon gone wrong. We're talking about a confrontation so intense, so unexpected, that it left church members in absolute shock. And just when things couldn't get any more chaotic, Deitrick Haddon steps into the ring, exposing a scandal involving none other than Ty Tribbett. Yes, Ty Tribbett, the same award-winning gospel artist